One of the biggest risks that we face as firefighters is an increased risk for cancer. That's why I've put together different videos on how to lower our risk of cancer. Now, we can't control our shifts. We can't control the calls after midnight. We can't control the carcinogens that we have to face when we go into fires. But what we can do off shift is going to give us the best opportunity to be successful when it comes to living a long, healthy life. And in this video, I want to talk about vitamin D and how proper levels of vitamin D will lower cancer risk due to the nature of the job, including the risk of cancer that we talked about earlier. And one way to combat this is with making sure our vitamin D levels are adequate and optimized. Now, if you've never had your vitamin D levels checked, I suggest you do that first before supplementing, because if you have good vitamin D levels, we don't have to worry about that. But most people don't get enough sun to have adequate vitamin D levels, and you just can't get any sun. There has to be a particular kind of UV light that allows you to synthesize vitamin D. So in this presentation, we're going to talk about why this works and how to do it. So, vitamin D is crucial to controlling cell growth. It attaches to the vitamin D receptor in our cells, triggering signals that regulate how cells grow, develop, and survive. This function is particularly important in preventing cancer because cancer is the proliferation of cells. Animal studies have shown that vitamin D can delay age-related changes by activating pathways that protect against oxidative stress and DNA damage. When we're stressed out, we create DNA damage. So by lowering our oxidative stress with certain antioxidants and lifestyle changes, we lower the oxidative stress and we improve the health of the DNA. So when you have a lot of oxidative stress and you damage your DNA, that's linked to cancer. Not only does it stop you from getting cancer, but if you get cancer, it reduces mortality. As you know, cancer is the second leading cause of death worldwide, and firefighters are at an even higher risk due to the exposure that we face on calls. The prevalence of vitamin D deficiency in our population, which is levels below 20 milliliters, and insufficiency, which is over 20 but less than 30, ranges from 40 to 100% of the population. When I first had my vitamin D levels checked after I had to retire from the fire department due to being ill, it was in the 30s. And that was one of the first things that I worked on, was improving my vitamin D levels. And I didn't even know all this that I know now. I just know that my vitamin D levels, which when you talk about vitamin D, you think of it as a vitamin, but it's actually a prohormone. It actually has precursor functions to over 300 chemical reactions in your body. So besides lowering risk of cancer and improving surviving cancer, it's also beneficial to several other things, immunity, sleep, etc. So research indicates that achieving a minimum serum vitamin D level of 40 can reduce cancer risk by 67% compared to levels of 20 or less. A 2023 systematic review and meta-analysis published in Aging Research Reviews found that vitamin D3 supplementation reduced cancer mortality by 6%. Now, this increased to 12% when studies involving vitamin D intake were analyzed. And another study of over 25,000 patients found that vitamin D supplementation reduced the risk of metastatic cancer and death by 17%. So it's going to reduce the spread of cancer and death by 17%, with up to 38% reduction among those maintaining a healthy weight. That's a whole separate video we'll get into, because being a healthy firefighter, being a healthy person requires a holistic approach, and vitamin D is just one of the steps. But if we can combine multiple steps, we give ourselves a much better shot at staying healthy. So vitamin D targets cancer in several ways. Anti-cancer effects. It impacts different stages of cancer development, including the initiation, growth, and spread of cancer cells. Anti-metastatic effects. It prevents cancer cells from spreading from the original tumor site to other parts of the body, significantly improving survival rates. Anti-tumorigenic. It helps prevent tumor formation or growth by inducing cell death in cancer cells, blocking cell cycle progression, and inhibiting pathways that fuel tumor growth. Vitamin D has shown beneficial effects against various cancers, including breast, prostate, bladder, colon, glioblastoma, melanoma, squamous cell carcinoma, ovarian, multiple myeloma, head and neck cancers, and bone cancer. So basically, it's going to bulletproof you from many types of cancers and help you avoid the growth and the spread. If you look at breast cancer, which is common among women, and there's many women firefighters, I hope some of you are watching this, vitamin D deficiency is linked to more aggressive subtypes. In prostate, which all the fellas got to deal with, the most common cancer in men, low vitamin D levels are associated with higher levels of DHT. And you bald guys out there like me, we got high levels of DHT, so we got to be aware of that. Optimizing vitamin D levels can enhance the body's natural cancer defenses, partly through proteins like sirtuin-1. And research suggests that significant variation in how individual genes respond to vitamin D supplementation means that it's best that you get personalized supplementation. What does that mean? That basically means going to a natural health practitioner, getting your levels checked, and then working with that health practitioner to get your vitamin D to specific levels. The best source of vitamin D, the sun. On a typical sunny day, your body can produce up to 25,000 IUs of vitamin D. However, many people don't get enough sun exposure to optimize their vitamin D levels. And you want to be sensible about your sun exposure, because not only does the sun improve your vitamin D levels, but it also improves cellular melatonin, which is a significant antioxidant. COVID, if you saw the levels of vitamin D in the people that got very sick and died from COVID, you'd have noticed a correlation between low vitamin D and people that got the worst kind of COVID. Regular sun exposure enhances melatonin production, like we talked about, a potent anti-cancer agent, and activates cytochrome C oxidase, which stimulates melatonin production inside your mitochondria, which I was just referring to. Melatonin helps mop up reactive oxygen species, which are basically free radicals that damage mitochondria and DNA. So we want to reduce those, and melatonin helps us do that. So let's talk about supplementation and testing. If you're unable to get adequate sun exposure each day, vitamin D supplementation may be necessary. The optimal vitamin D level for cancer prevention is between 60 and 80. It's important to balance vitamin D, now this is super important, with calcium, magnesium, and vitamin K2. I personally use vitamin D with K2 in it so that I keep that nice and balanced. Something that I suggest all you fellas do, and ladies, and we'll get into that in another video. And then regular testing of your vitamin D levels and adjusting your sun exposure during different seasons. You're going to have less sun in the winter, of course, and fall, and more sun in the summer. So you might have to adjust your supplementation based upon the seasons. But you want to aim for maybe 20 to 30 minutes a day. And if you can't get a quality 20 to 30 minutes, then you might want to think about taking a supplement that day. Also, not all sun is created equal. Early morning sun and evening sun is not the same as midday sun. And ironically, you should still go outside even if it's cloudy, because in a room you'll probably get like 700 IUs, but on a cloudy day you'll still get like 17,000 IUs. So don't let cloudy days prevent you from getting your sun. Conclusion, for firefighters, maintaining adequate vitamin D levels is crucial for a healthy lifestyle and cancer prevention strategy. I'm going to get into more cancer prevention strategies because I feel like this is one of the main issues I want to tackle in the Healthy Firefighters Union. How do we prevent cancer? Sensible sun exposure, a balanced diet rich in calcium, magnesium, and vitamin K2, and potentially personalized supplementation can help you achieve optimal health and reduce your risk of cancer. Remember, your health is your greatest asset, and you don't want to be sacrificed for others. I know that you guys take pride in putting yourself on the line, but you got to remember, we need you guys. Your families need you guys. And we got to do what we can do to take care of each other and to live long, healthy lives and enjoy that retirement money, baby.